LAWsome by ConsultWebs. Breakthrough insights to build a thriving law firm with your host, Tanner Jones.
Hello to all our LAWsome listeners out there. Today on our show, I'm excited to be talking with Kaitlin Nares, partner and founder of Hagen Nares PLLC, a law firm that helps families find relief after being affected by a serious injury. Kaitlin co-founded Hagen Nares PLLC as the culmination of her passion for the law and her desire to help families that have been severely injured at no fault of their own. She has years of experience litigating civil rights injustices in some of the nation's toughest state and federal courthouses. Kaitlin is featured in the 2019 award-winning documentary False Confessions, and she was part of the skilled litigation team in Manhattan's $40 million Central Park jogger litigation. Kaitlin is now the CEO of Hagen Nares PLLC, a reputable truck wreck and brain injury law firm focused on trial law in Denver, Colorado. This female-owned law firm is going against some of the biggest companies and the largest defense firms in the nation. They're revolutionizing a male-dominated specialty of truck wreck litigation. Today's topic is how women are revolutionizing a male-dominated field and doing things their way. Welcome, Kaitlin. Very happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me, Tanner. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, let's hop in. I love this topic, and I love the trail that you're blazing right now. More women than men have graduated from law school. That may be a fact some aren't aware of, but yet there's still fewer women than men in senior positions in the legal field. The good news is that this has changed over the last several decades, but I think we would both agree there's still a lot of work to be done in this respect. There are a lot of law firms that are actively working to really be more diverse and inclusive, especially when it comes to partner demographics. So that being said, Kaitlin, I'd love to hear, what is your professional and personal journey in this male-dominated profession? What has it been like?
Yeah, absolutely. So, more times than not, I have been the only female in the courtroom, which is really unfortunate because women can be such amazing advocates and trial attorneys. Now, statistically, it shows that jurors, they feel more comfortable with female attorneys. They see them as a mother figure, an educator, and also they associate them more likely than not with honesty and trustworthiness. Typically, a jury will assume the female attorney is trustworthy and honest until we disprove them otherwise. Mm-hmm. Whereas male attorneys, you have to prove that to them. And so juries see women attorneys one way, and what we're finding is that law firms are viewing them a different way. And that's what I've noticed. Now, working with a law firm, it's assumed that female attorneys can achieve metrics, and they're really only noticed if they exceed those metrics, whereas sometimes the male attorneys are rewarded just for meeting the same metrics. The journey that I had where women were routinely overworked for partner or senior level positions, even though they were the top rainmakers and some of the most reliable attorneys. Being a mother was considered sometimes a negative, whereas being a father was considered a positive. So that was the journey that I had, not to be too negative, but I think it was a great experience that I had because it culminated in me starting my own law firm. And I kind of knew that I had to start my own law firm to be able to blaze my own trail to break those barriers. And so our law firm is completely female run. We are in a very male dominated specialty. Personal injury is very male dominated, but to get even more specialized and do truck wreck litigation, we are one of the only law firms that is completely female specializing in this. And it's been really interesting. It's been a great experience to be able to kind of trailblaze and do this.
Do you know how many cases you're signing from your marketing investment each month? If you want to diagnose the status of your firm's marketing efforts, then the LAWsome Podcast has a gift for you. Discover the best and the most unique legal marketing solutions available today using the Decision-Making Handbook's free printable criteria. Claim your copy in the bio below. You hit on several important pieces. One thing I want to follow back up on or dive a little deeper in is the concept of the end client and what they're looking for. You mentioned that there are many instances where you're the only female in the courtroom, but yet there are real advantages to that in many instances. I see that on the marketing side in many instances when we are looking at personal injury campaigns and helping our clients attract new clients from their websites, for example. it is more often than not, it is a female that is making the first contact to that law firm, whether it be the wife of a loved one, the family member, friend, whoever it may be. It's more often the lady counterpart. And I think that serves a real advantage to a law firm when you have the relatability on your end, because there's kind of a balance there in terms of being able to portray compassion, which I think you alluded to with respect to motherhood and how women are often perceived in the workplace, but striking that balance with aggressiveness in the courtroom, which being a truck lawyer, I would imagine you have to display some aggression sometimes in your field. Can you speak to that balance and maybe some of the advantages you've seen in having an all-woman owned law firm?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit it right on the head of kind of who the clientele is and who is really the ones that are seeking out attorneys. And so when we started to first go to that point, and then the second point would be in the courtroom. So when we started our law firm, people thought we were crazy for getting into personal injury and being a boutique law firm. How can you compete with billboard attorneys and people that are spending so much money on Google? And we said, that's not even our competition. We're not even in that realm. What we want to do is just focus and speak to the people that are really our avatar or are the person that is the profile of who we represent, because it's me and my partner, Christina. It's that mom with a school-age child that is up in the middle of the night trying to become an expert in all things associated with a diagnosis that was given to the child, to a spouse, a relative, and they have no idea what happened and what's going to happen due to a catastrophic injury. What we always say is a catastrophic injury to one family member affects the entire family in so many ways. And so we just speak to them because that's who we are. And we have built our business entirely off of mom groups on Facebook and local referral sources because we're speaking to the people that are normally not spoken to at all. They actually despise the billboard attorneys. They despise like cheesy advertising, stuff like that. They just want to know that the person on the other end cares. And so it's really benefited us. Having that compassion and empathy has been great because at our firm, our employees actually are the same people. They're all kind of that avatar. Our employees are all young moms. They empathize and sympathize with the potential client. They have a great rapport. They understand what's going through their mind emotionally. And it's been really great to have this great culture within our firm. In the courtroom, it kind of speaks to the same way where we do have to have that balance. It's one of those notions that, if we raise our voice or we do anything, we're trying to figure out how is it judged by the other side. But honestly, we have found, and this was statistically found by the ABA, the American Bar Association, and other reports, that just juries feel more comfortable with female attorneys. And they're so far few in between that I'm really coming in at an advantage. So clients are starting to realize that. They feel more comfortable with me as their attorney, and they're starting to realize that a jury similar to them will also feel comfortable with a female attorney. I'm a big advocate of getting female attorneys into the courtroom. Please, any way that you can get into the courtroom, we're here to help. You stay there, and we could talk more about kind of why females aren't in the courtroom and why they're leaving. And our whole goal at our firm is to make sure more women stay there.
Every year we make predictions about legal marketing trends that will affect hundreds of thousands of lawyers across the country. If you've been looking to reach new clients, stay informed, or gain a competitive advantage in your market area, this is your opportunity. Unlock the secrets of success with this exclusive PDF that reveals some of the top legal marketing trends in the industry today. Claim your copy in the bio below. Let's move into that. Kaitlin, I mean, what's your take on that? What are you seeing in the field right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the American Bar Association did a report in 2021. I actually have it here. It's entitled, Their Own Words, Experienced Women Lawyers Explain Why They Are Leaving the Law Firm. It's an epidemic of female attorneys that are leaving law firm positions for many of the reasons that we already talked about, kind of lack of flex scheduling, they're being passed over for promotions, all of these reasons. The seventh biggest reason was just scheduling, unpredictability of scheduling, long work hours. And so there's a mass amount of really talented women leaving the law profession completely, and a large percentage of that is actually trial attorneys. So we're trying to change that around. I honestly think if there could be some more flexible scheduling, that will be the way to solve this. I think that a mom can have it all, but they can't have it all at once. And so some days they're going to be more responsibilities at home and childcare. Other days they're going to be late prepping for a trial. You could have it all, but not at the same time. So flex scheduling is really going to be important. And if more law firms embrace that, I think they would be able to keep the mothers that are really great advocates that would really be beneficial to their firm that are leaving en masse. And so I think that could really help the law firm community.
I would agree. I think that's incredible practical advice. And I'd love to continue to go down this angle a little bit, because we've talked about clearly there has been progress made. You know, you can look back 20, 30 years and see that there's quite significant advancement in that respect, but clearly not where it needs to be today. And that's due to some of the challenges we've already talked about. But just as you've already done, let's get practical, not just for maybe the female attorney, but also maybe even the business owner. What are you seeing? What are some strategies maybe that you've identified to help either business owners or just individuals as a whole overcome some of these gender biases within the legal field? Any practical suggestions you would give us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my firm represents the next generation of law firm owners. I think you're going to see this more, and this isn't specific to mothers either. Fathers that have young kids and want to be able to be more flexible. Why are they the ones that need to work all the time? They may have that flexibility. So we're actually seeing young fathers also kind of leaving different jobs en masse for more flexibility. This is universal across. My law firm is very flex hours. It's about getting the work done that you can have it all. You can have personal, professional, and financial success, and we want you completely well-rounded. That needs to be number one. Has any law firm owner, senior partner at a big law firm sat down with their attorneys and say, what do you want? What are your goals personally, professionally, and financially? I'd love to know, and I'd love to check in and make sure you're meeting those goals. That's number one. Day one of onboarding at my law firm, I asked that. And you can attest to anybody in my law firm will say that was the first question asked. What are those big goals that they have in their life, and how can we make this firm be able to get them to reach those goals, personal, financial, and professional goals? And I think the next law firm generation is going to be virtual. Clients don't want to go to a law firm. Typically they don't care what your lobby looks like. They don't care what the front desk area looks like, or if your name is on some mugs. They need convenience. A lot of them are injured and it's a hassle for them to go. So I think the next generation is going to be virtual. It's going to be flexible hours. If the main person that is calling about legal services is the mom that's Googling everything in the middle of the night, more likely than not that they are going to want to meet later at night. I have tons of clients that we do the initial consultation at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., because that's when their kids go to sleep. And so I think the next generational law firm is just going to be way more flexible. It's not going to be traditional. And I think that is going to garner more talent to come to those law firms, because they're the ones, the A players are the ones that want it all. They want to be great parents. They want to be great attorneys. They want to reach personal, professional, and financial goals. And a law firm that can see that as an asset, see them as being a dad or mom as an asset, is really going to be great. And I think the next generation of law firms are more like tech startups than traditional brick and mortar.
Hiring an outside marketing agency can take your firm's business truly to the next level. But having to compare and contrast different legal vendors out there can be a rather overwhelming and complicated process. So we'd like to help you with that. That's why we've created this free digital vendor checklist. It's going to give you the tools and, more importantly, the confidence needed to truly evaluate and vet the potential vendors out there. It's going to help you understand specifically their legal marketing expertise, team qualifications, what they can and cannot do, types of services they offer, and expectations of those services, proof of success, have they been there before, have they helped other similar law firms like yours, and arguably, more importantly, your digital ownership rights related to working with them and what you own or do not own. Claim your free printable checklist in the comments below. I think it's so important for law firm business owners to take a moment to really chew on that. It is, it's commonly said that the legal industry is way behind the typical industry in the country, and it's based on, in many instances, law's not changing that significantly. The business model overall hasn't really changed decade over decade over decade, and so I would say that a lot of business owners have potentially rested on their laurels a little bit. And your forward-thinking mindset there, I'm seeing it as well. Being in the tech space, in the marketing space, there's no question what you're hitting on is absolutely the biggest appeal when it comes to employers, quality employers looking to find that next home. And I applaud you for that, Kaitlin. I would also add too, you hit on this earlier, but I want to come back to this topic, and you identified that you really wanted to be intentional in the very beginning of your business. I'd like to explore this a little bit further because you mentioned your marketing has obviously been very focused on mom groups on Facebook, you mentioned, and other pockets of mothers in your area in an effort to market to the right audience. And from my experience, that's one of the often missed components of a business and their marketing is essentially trying to talk to everyone. You referenced the billboard lawyers earlier. Essentially, in many instances, trying to speak to everyone. And from our experience, when you do that, you speak to no one. But you and your partner have clearly identified who you want to cater your business to, and you went all in on that. Could you take a moment to maybe walk back that process? What was in your mind in the very beginning? What allowed you to ultimately choose that pocket or that direction within your business, even going so far as to narrow it down to trucking litigation and traumatic brain injury litigation?
Yeah, absolutely. So the culture of the law firm, being this virtual law firm, speaking kind of untraditionally to certain groups, that all came from we wanted to both work at the law firm that we always wanted to be part of, and we wanted to be the law firm that we would want to be represented by. And so that was really important to us to do it a different way. And so we started from the get-go, realizing that it's completely untapped to go after these groups, these mom groups in the middle of the night, and because we identify with them. I'm that person that if I have two little boys, a 23-month-old and a 7-month-old, and if anything happens to them, I just don't know. I have newbies, and I'm just like in the middle of the night Googling, and that is just a normal, natural feeling. If something is happening to a family member, it's just normal and natural that you want to do everything you can to learn about what is going on, the diagnosis, what is going to happen, what the future is going to be. And so it's normal to feel like that. I identify with that, and I'm speaking directly to them. Our goal is transparency and clarity. They can't see in front of their face right now. They've never experienced this, right? A catastrophic injury to a family member. Our goal is that they can now see 3 feet in front, then 5 feet in front, and they can start to see what the future is going to lie. And so that's all it is, and we're just speaking to them the same way we want to be spoken to. And so that's really important to us. With regards to specializing, right, we do truck wreck and brain injuries. The whole thing about that is just honesty and trustworthiness. To be honest, I want the law firm that I would choose. I don't think you could specialize in everything. I don't think that you can just be the greatest at everything. It takes so much effort, hours of study, real devotion to be a specialist in something, right? And so my partner is a phenomenal truck wreck attorney. She knows everything. She could cite different statutes off the top of her head of what happens. She has devoted her time to that. I have devoted my time to brain injuries and really speaking to this invisible injury. My clients tend to wish and pray that they had a scar on their face or a broken arm so that people would understand what they've been through. because it's invisible. They look fine, but no one realizes that they're suffering so much. And I really associate with that. And so I really love devoting all my time to brain injuries. You can see here all my neurology textbooks. This is what I do all day, every day, a little bit for fun, is just devoting ourselves to that. So the specialty wasn't a marketing, thing. Let's just do this. We'll get more clients if we specialize. It just, we truly felt that you can't be an expert in everything. And this is what we really identify with. Now, to the marketing angle, and you could speak to that, is by specializing, people come to you. By being generalists, you're trying to find them. And so being specialist has helped differentiate us from everybody else in a really, really competitive male-dominated field of personal injury.
Hey there. Perhaps most don't associate lawyers with the social media platform TikTok, but I would encourage you to think again if that's you. The reason being is TikTok is now the #1 most engaging social media platform on the market. It presents truly a lucrative opportunity for lawyers who know how to use it and use it effectively. If you're interested in leveraging TikTok for your law office, grab the free resource in the comments below. That's so good. Thank you for that, Kaitlin. I'd be curious to know, are there any questions that I haven't asked you that you had hoped I would have covered?
I think maybe what is it like to do truck wreck litigation? We're one of the only female-run law firms that do it, and so it's really people have been asking us how that started and what is it like?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, it's been so much fun. It's we're going against the biggest companies that you'll see. It's unusual for us to go against some of the biggest name truck companies or commercial companies that you see very often. And we're going against some of the biggest defense law firms there are. And it's just two moms in a courtroom. And it has been a joy to do because we're speaking to our clients' needs. We are our clients. We identify with our clients. And the juries identify with us. And so it's been really great having this dynamic of, this 10-ton gorilla against the two moms. But we think that we are paving the way. Our goal is to get women in the courtroom and to get women into truck wreck litigation. We are here in any way, shape, or form to help women do this. And it all starts with flex scheduling. It all starts with realizing you can have it all, not at the same time, but trying to find a firm that will embrace that, being a mom, being a female, being diverse, all of that is an asset. It would be fantastic. And starting your own law firm, you can do it absolutely.
So encouraging. Kaitlin, I'm grateful for the time that we've shared today, and thank you for the path that you're paving, not just for you, for your family, but for all the other ladies who are hearing this and encouraged and motivated by it. I know I am. Thank you, Kaitlin. What's the best way for people to find you or to contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram. That's where you're going to get a lot of the information I share. That's Colorado Lawyer Mom. And then also you can email me. That's info@hntriallaw.com or call at 720-772-8513. Happy to chat about anything.
LAWsome by ConsultWebs with Tanner Jones. For show notes, links, and info, go to consultwebs.com/podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Watch for the next LAWsome episode to discover more breakthrough insights to build a thriving law firm.